A green-shaded lamp swayed once across Elin Sable's desk, yellow light pooling on the last manifest she would ever lay down. The stair creaked. An oxblood sleeve rose. By dawn, the office lay gray and still, her hand fanned neat across 5 papers no one had yet read. The ledger at Pier 7, a patrol cruiser parked at the curb of Pier 7 row as fog closed the harbor, and gulls wheeled low. A uniform at the chandlery door handed Leen a neighbor's preliminary statement. The office door had stood open at first light. Knox turned his watch face out, checked the hour, turned it back. The wooden stair climbed to a second-floor office where the banker's lamp still burned. Elin lay across her desk, her left hand fanned neat atop a stack of 5 shipping manifests. A brass marlin spike rested on the floor at the desk's foot. No broken lock, no struggle. Knox tapped thumb against forefinger, a slow count of 3. Under the pen light, the topmost manifest bore a crisp, dark condensation ring, the kind of chilled water cooler glass leaves. Indoors, a wet paper ring evaporates inside 20 minutes. This one still held. The ring pinned the moment that page was laid to the last sliver of Ellen's life. 5 covers spelled vermilion, Arctic, Undaunted, Lancer, Turbot. The next 4 pages carried corner numerals in her ink. 3, 1, 4, 7. Cold fluorescence of the PD morgue. Doctor. Hallie pulled the drawer and lowered her glasses a half-inch. A single blunt force blow to the back of the head. Cross-section consistent with the marlin spike. No defensive marks. Time of death between 2010 and 2020. Narrowed by stomach contents. Speculation, she added flat, was his job. Late morning, Knox walked the wet planks out to the pier's terminus. A working launch, Maria III, idled at the end cleat, mooring lines lying loose. A deckhand in canvas coiled rope and did not look up. The launch had been running since before the body was found. Knox photographed the lines and walked back. In the PD briefing room, Captain Brennan stood at the board, olive drab jacket squared. She pressed thumb into palm and spoke low. The clerk had kept a private audit, and the courier would be at the gate within the hour. Asked his method, Knox answered temporal reconstruction. Brennan nodded once and told him to run it clean. Evening found Knox alone at Ellen's desk. The bottom right drawer opened onto a tan folder tabbed Pier 7 foreman logs. Red ink inside. A month of container short counts flagged against Hollis cost. Tallies down the margin. The last line ringed twice. Leen read over his shoulder. He tagged the folder and slid it into his satchel. Morning at the foreman's shed. Roll-up door open on the harbor. Coast squinted as the red-inked folder landed on the plywood table. He had not set foot above the chandlery in 2 months, he said flatly. The previous night, he was at his daughter's school play at Flats Elementary. He gave the principal's number and 3 parents by name. Suspect, Hollis Coast. Stated alibi. At my daughter's school play at Flats Elementary from 19 o'clock to 21:30. Inferred opportunity. None. Verified by multiple parents seated with him through the window of death. The insurance firm at mid-morning, a warm reading lamp on the shared table. Delphine cradled a mug of tea and did not pretend she had liked Ellen. The senior clerkship had gone to the older hand a year ago, she said. That had been the end of it. The office door camera stamped her out at 1747. Her home feed caught her in at 1805. A wooden bench outside a Flats dental clinic, afternoon lights slanting off the storefronts. Junpei produced a creased receipt stub dated Monday, 1730 to 1815, the clinic's ink stamp still sharp. From 6:30 on, he was home with his spouse and 2 children. The second-floor neighbor, he said, would vouch the back door had not opened after dusk. At the Pier 7 gate, a reporter in a forest green coat intercepted Leen, press badge on the lapel, worn leather notebook in hand. Mara Quinn asked what Ellen had been working on that got her killed. Leen pointed her toward the precinct spokesperson. Quinn jotted 1 line, nodded once, said she would find Knox when she had something worth trading. The brass fish at amber hour. Brass fittings dull. The wood bar rubbed smooth. Kieran Al pulled a pint while he answered flat. Monday was a closing shift, 1700 to 2. Regulars in their seats. The register tape would back him. He slid the printed slip across without being asked. Log in at 17 sharp. Sign off at 2. Suspect, Kieran Aube. Stated alibi. Closing my shift at the Brass Fish from 17 o'clock until 2 o'clock with regulars in their seats. Inferred opportunity. Pier 7 row via harbor CCTV from 2003 to 2030. PD review room. Cold fluorescence overhead. Knox and Leen faced the wall monitor as the harbor feed rolled forward. 2003. A slight male figure in an oxblood bomber jacket walked past the pier terminus toward Pier 7 row, shoulders up against the fog. The timestamp burn held steady. Leen froze the frame and printed the still. Knox tapped thumb against forefinger slow 3 times. The evidence locker, waxed concrete and cold overhead tubes. Rukcho took the bagged marlin spike, the bagged manifest stack, and the printed CCTV, still from Knox without looking up, latex gloves squeaking. He stamped each bag with the custody seal and said flat, "If it is not in the bag, it did not happen." He turned to log the numerals. Night, Elin's walk up on the docks. Knox turned a manila folder. Pier 7 declarations VHDH. 2 months of container declaration discrepancies traced by pencil to one Harbor Development Holdings account. At the bay window, he glanced across the harbor. One small lit window, a tall silhouette in dark brown tweed, a cane inside that frame, not looking toward him. Knox's watch hand stopped. PD interview room, a single cold lamp, sterile gray walls. Kieran sat across the metal table, oxblood jacket slung over the chair back. Knox slid the CCTV print across, timestamp 2003. Kieran's eyes flicked. He said any oxblood jacket in Ashvale could fit. Knox turned his watch face out, then face in. Leen watched Kieran's knee jump under the table. The minute hand does not move. Does not move. Minutes don't lie. People do. Knox pinned a timeline from 1930 to 2030. Elin left her office at 1930 and returned at 1947. The brass fish back door opened at 1955. No-till ring followed for 50 minutes. Harbor CCTV caught the oxblood jacket at 2003. Elin laid the last manifest at 2010. The attack fell at 2012. Knox fanned the 5 photographed covers across the board. Vermilion, Arctic, Undaunted, Lancer, Turbot. First letters spelled a word a listener could read without help. The 4 following pages carried her inked numerals. 3, 1, 4, 7. Leen read the line once. Low. Knox pocketed the photograph into a separate black folder and set the thread aside for later. Back to the corkboard. A red pen crossed out Holocaust, 3 parents and a school play program pinned below. It crossed out Delphina Urso, office door camera stamp and home feed pinned below. It crossed out June pay, dentist receipt and a neighbor's statement pinned below. 3 names fallen. 1 left standing on the board. The team gathered at the forensic bench. Knox at the corkboard. Leen at the bench. Rook at the register. Elin had arranged the papers in the last 20 minutes of her life. The ring's crispness fixed the window. The oxblood jacket crossed the pier at 2003. The brass fish rang nothing from 1950 to 2040. The name standing on the board was Kieran Obi. Night. Knox and Leen stepped from a patrol cruiser at the head of Pier 7 row. Brennan's coordination order glowed on Leen's tablet. Harbor patrol 3 minutes out. Fog bellied off the water. The banker's lamp glow from Ellen's office still burned behind them, a uniform posted at the door. They walked the planks toward the pier's end. At the pier's terminus, the Maria III's engine was already warm, her lines already cast. Kieran Obe on deck in the oxblood jacket hurled the last line free as the bow swung away from the planks. A deckhand at the wheel throttled up. The launch began to move. Knox broke into a run. Kieran did not look back. Knox raised his weapon at the pier's end, sighting on the stern lantern. Leen's hand came steady on his forearm. The launch was out of clean range, open water beyond. He lowered it. The fog closed around the lantern and the engine note thinned to nothing. He said, almost to himself, that Kieran would not go far. Somebody was paying. Captain Brennan stepped from a second cruiser at the gate. Walnut cane planting once on the plank, her walk unhurried. She did not fault Knox. The launch was a harbor-wide alert now. Kieran's face on every coastal precinct board by first light. She pressed thumb into palm, nodded at Leen, and turned back toward the gate with Knox beside her. Dawn on Pier 7. The fog thinning over the water. Knox stands at the pier's end. The photographed manifest arrangement in his left hand, the CCTV. Still in his right. Footsteps on the planks. A coffee cup lands softly on the wooden rail. He pockets the photograph. A new file. A new name. The harbor holds its breath.